Okay, just before we crack into today's video, let me explain how you can help us. More and more Kiwis are waking up to the fact that New Zealand is in big trouble right now. So how can we turn this country around? The answer is through education. What does that mean? Well, it means exposing more and more people to our videos. It's as simple as that. Just click on the subscribe button on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, and you'll be subscribed. What happens then? Well, when you subscribe, YouTube sends our videos out to more Kiwis. That's how it works. Subscribing is free. You'll never be charged anything. It's just that simple. So please do it and then enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you very much for watching. Just by subscribing, you can play a big part in the solution to fixing New Zealand. Well done, you. Well, hi, you beautiful New Zealanders. In tonight's video, I'm going to talk about Erica Stanford. Is this who you really thought she was? That's the subject of this video. So what's in the box today? In this video, I discuss Erica Stanford and her alignment or promotion of participation in the LGBTQ community. That's pretty shocking. Discuss how she is the Minister of Education, an enormously powerful cabinet position. Number 3, I discuss how she is using her position to Maorify our children and grandchildren. Number 4, I discuss how what she is doing is ultimately grooming our children so that when they are old enough to vote, they will vote for any party which promotes the Maori Activist cause. My question is this: does she realize that this is what she's doing, or are her actions coming from a place of naivety and ignorance? I'd like you to put your comments in the comments of this video. Let me know what you think. So let's watch this together. Okay, so a job advert for a position in the Ministry of Education came up. First, I noticed the job advertised in the Ministry of Education website. This is what it said: Curriculum Advisor, Ministry of Education. Here's the first line in the description, with the emphasis added in bold or in yellow. We work to shape an education system, the advert says, that delivers equitable and excellent outcomes. Among other things, applicants need to have the following: an understanding of design thinking as it relates to designing inclusive and accessible learning and championing of Maori Oriti Mote Mataranga Maori. Now, if that's not gobbledygook, nothing is. So I'll tell you what that means in a minute, because I had to look it all up and say, well, what does all that mean? And that's typical. So there's the reference to the actual advert. Well, keep in mind that equitable outcomes means Maori must have the same outcome or results as all the other students. So in a classic test, Maori students have got to have, any test in a school, Maori have got to get as good a results as anybody else. That's what equitable outcomes means. Well, what is this? This is completely unrealistic. It's just fantasy. It's fanciful. Why? Because so many factors influence education outcomes or results. We know this. Like what? Like IQ, like family support, the amount of the support a child gets at home, their attendance at school, how the student applies themselves to their study. All these things affect somebody's results in school. These factors are out of the control of the school or the teacher. So what are they on about? It's impossible to get equitable outcomes. It's just stupid. So why are Maori activists persevering with the equitable outcomes nonsense? Why are they still, plowing this field? Well, here's the answer. The whole idea is a pretense for something else. Well, like what? The idea is simply a smokescreen to brainwash all the children in the class. It has absolutely nothing to do with better outcomes for Maori students. How so? The philosophy behind this idea is something like the following. Maori children do well, we're told, when they're learning in a heavily Maorified classroom setting. That is to say, when Maori prayers are said at the beginning and end of the day, when everyone is learning the Maori language, when Maori creation stories are being told and taught, that's rangi and papa, when Maori culture is being taught as a superior culture, when history is being taught so that Maori are portrayed as marvelous and white people are demonized. We're told that if you do all that, Maori students are going to absolutely excel. Well, there's no actual proof for that, so let's keep going anyway. In other words, the entire learning experience is rigged. They say this will achieve better results for Maori children, but really it's about Maorifying the non-Maori children. It's about grooming all the children in the class to adore all things Maori and to abhor all things European. This is why the job advert says we work to shape, that's a key word, an education system. See? like clay on the wheel, they're shaping it. This is code for we're shaping an education system which shapes students to see the world in a certain way, a Maori way, actually the Maori activist way. It's a trick, that's what it is. Ultimately, what is the goal of this? Well, that's easy. It's grooming future voters. It's using the Maori children in the system to get to the non-Maori children. For the bureaucrats who design the courses, who themselves are heavily Maorified activists, they've joined the Maori religion, well, this is an excellent outcome if we can get to all these non-Maori children. As usual with activists, they say something is about A, that's what they publicly say, but in reality it's about B. You see, trickery is the hallmark of activists. They say one thing, but actually a whole different thing is actually happening. Okay, back to the actual job advert. My first question was, what on earth is mana oriti mote mataranga, Maori, whatever that is. Well, what does this mean? Well, I looked it up, and this is what it said. It's equal status for Mataranga Maori in NCEA. Mana oriti is an equal respect for Mataranga Maori knowledge alongside Western knowledge. That's, for example, playing whale sounds to dying kauri trees to heal them. Honestly, it's going back into mythology and stories and nonsense. The website says the following: we are working to ensure there is equal status, support and resourcing for Mataranga Maori in NCEA, opening up greater opportunities for Akonga, that's students, to access Mataranga Maori and the pathways that lead from it. In other words, what that really is saying is we're going to absolutely marinate the education system in Maorification. This change is system-wide, with Mataranga Maori being woven into all aspects of NCEA. So it's system-wide, it's the entire education system. And there's the reference. So have a look for yourself. Well, what are we to make of this? It's saying that the Education Ministry is going to Maorify all school-age children. This is tragic on a number of levels. First, children in school only have a limited amount of time to learn each day. Yeah? Whatever is spent on learning Maori stuff is learning time taken away from absolute essentials, which are reading, writing, and maths. When I was doing my university studies in education, I learnt that the purpose of education was to prepare students to succeed in life. That was the definition of education. Learning Maori language, Maori culture, and Maori knowledge is not going to help children succeed in life. In fact, the opposite is true. It's going to guarantee their failure unless they're employed in some specialized Maori job where all these things are a requirement in the job description, i.e. being able to speak Maori and knowing all things about Maori culture and Maori knowledge. You might swing a job like that, but you know what the reality is? The infinitesimally small number of jobs like that. So really the Maorification of our children is taking them down a dead-end street. The whole world is wanting to learn English because it's the premium language. And here is New Zealand wanting to teach people a dead language that's not used anywhere, not even in our own country. It's only been used by a tiny little percentage of people, and even those people in their day-to-day activities, when they go shopping, when they're out and about, they use English. So this is a nonsense. The real tragedy is that once children have had all their time wasted at school, they can't get that time back. If you waste it between 5 years old and 17 years old, and it's wasted on a whole lot of crap, you can't get that time back. It's gone. And you know what? These students rely on the wisdom of their teachers, thinking, I hope these teachers know what they're doing. Oh, mate, it's a real problem. So that time is gone forever if it's frittered away. School time is immensely precious time. My view is that if Maori parents want their children to learn Maori language, Maori knowledge, and Maori culture, it's up to their parents to teach them these things in their homes and on their marae. You know what? All the other 159 cultures in New Zealand have taken personal responsibility to grow their culture and language in their homes and places of meeting. But not Maori. Why not? They want to force their language, culture and knowledge on everyone else. Why? And I have given the real reasons why they're doing this: grooming and brainwashing. That's what they're doing it for. The following is one of the clauses in the coalition agreement between National and New Zealand First. Watch this. There's the coalition agreement. It says down the bottom, see that clause? The coalition and government will work to improve outcomes for all New Zealanders and will not advance policies that seek to ascribe different rights and responsibilities to New Zealanders on the basis of their race and ancestry. It's so clear. Notice the agreement says that the government will not advance policies which give any New Zealander different rights based on their race. Well, Erica Stanford's education policy for Maori is a clear breach. Maori are being given special rights to force their language, culture and knowledge on all other students. This is wrong, and Erica needs to be called out. So where is Shane Jones on this? Where's Winston Peters? It was the agreement between their party and the government and National. It's their agreement, for heaven's sake. Why are they not calling Erica out on this? This is a breach of the coalition agreement. So how much is the Maorification of our schools, children and grandchildren going to cost? How much has been allocated in the latest budget? The following is what has been reported. It says here, the budget, this is from Radio New Zealand, budget 2025, Maori education gets boost, targeted funding remains tight. This is a quote from the newspaper article. Operational funding of 54 million and 50 million, that's 104 million, in capital funding has been allocated to increase Maori learner success by investing in curriculum support and teacher development. The initiative includes training and support for up to 51,000 teachers in years 0 to 13, that's from 5 years through to 17-year-olds, to learn Te Reo Maori and tikanga. See that? Those two barbs. Te Reo Maori and tikanga. A virtual learning network for online STEM education to more than 5,500 year 9 to 13 students in Kura Kaupapa and Maori medium education. So they're going to set up online courses for all these kids. 7 new curriculum advisors to help teachers using the redesigned Matarangi o Aotearoa. New curriculum resource in Te Reo, Matatini and STEM for around 5,000 senior secondary students. So they're really going to get these minds of these kids when they're young, from 5 years old through to 17-year-olds. They're gunning for their minds. Well, we know why this is. Developing a new Maori study subject area for New Zealand curriculum for years 11 to 13 English medium schools. You know what? It's hard to believe this is happening, but unfortunately it is happening. It's all reported. It's all in the budget. It's all provable. If this wasn't disturbing enough, I learnt more about our education minister, which is also alarming. Watch this. Well, spot the national MPs in the gay parade. In Auckland recently, there was a gay parade that was going on, and the national MPs all turned up there. Not all of them, but some of them. James Meagher was there, so was Chris Bishop. You'll see that in the footage I'm about to show you. Ex-ACT MP Rodney Hyde has a great piece on his fight with a high school where his daughter attends. It's a great piece. I'll put it in the description of this video. He was appalled at the sex education curriculum his daughter was being subjected to. Now, it's not just Rodney Hyde's daughter's high school, it's all the high schools in New Zealand. As I said, I'll put a link to this in the description of this video. Behind all this is Erica Stanford. She's a mixed up puppy. See?
So the other person that was on that interview on TV1 was our Minister of Education, Erica Stanford.
Right.
Some would say that she's doing some things to help, but let's just have a little look at this video, shall we? That's Erica there in the tutu.
Oh, okay. It's here in the front.
In the Pride Parade with the national MPs. These are our national MPs. When are we going to have the adults back in the room?
Well, you know what? That's a very good question. And I'd encourage you, that's Penny Marie. She runs a great ministry, if you like, called Let Kids Be Kids. And I'd encourage you to have a look at her website, get behind her, because it's a great initiative that she's actually involved with. Okay, then we learn that Erica thinks that the treaty is a partnership. Can you believe this? Watch.
Please slide it to one side and not look at many of their recommendations, because frankly, a lot of them are what I've been saying for a long time. But there are some other good points they make in there that are worthy of consideration.
What role should iwi play in setting our migration settings in the years to come?
Well, a huge role. I mean, they're a treaty partner, right? And so they have a say in that. And I work really closely with the Maori members of my caucus.
There you go. Straight from the horse's mouth. The treaty's a partnership. Well, tragically, many Kiwis think that believing that the treaty is a partnership, well, it's no big deal, they think. Well, the opposite is actually true. Thinking that the treaty is a partnership is a catastrophic lie, which has been fraudulently generated by Maori activists. People don't realise this. It has enabled a bloodless coup to progress in New Zealand. Let's talk about that in a minute. So, enter this guy, Judge Anthony Willy. Retired District Court Judge Anthony Willy has written a brilliant piece on why the treaty is not a partnership. So I'll leave his article in the description of this video. It's a must read. It's really, really good. Thank you, Judge Anthony Willy, for doing that. It's amazing. Okay, the idea that the treaty is a partnership is no little mistake. It's huge. It's through this wrong idea, as I've said, that a bloodless coup is being enabled. So here are the irrefutable proofs we see all around us of this bloodless coup in progress. The hijack of the education system, grooming our children from kindy to the end of university with all things Maori. And Erica's just put a lot of money and time and effort into doing this. This is a disaster. Compulsory Maori studies for all uni students, capturing their minds, you see. Compulsory Maori studies for law students and medical centres. Compulsory Maori studies for pharmacists. Local councils being hijacked, Maori wards, the corruption of the courts, activist judges being appointed. Chris Finlayson was responsible for most of that. Two-tier policing, Maori claiming all the beaches are theirs. That's wrong. The beaches belong to all New Zealanders, so does all the water. Maori claims for control of all fresh water in the South Island. Tikanga being made law in New Zealand. The continued existence of the corrupt activist Waitangi Tribunal, that should be abolished. Strategic assets being given away to Maori via the back door through settlements like Wanganui Airport and Kaitaia Airport. Activist MPs like LUXON, POTAKA, Goldsmith and Stanford fueling Maorification. Land grabbing by Maori through things like wahi tapu and land significant to Maori. Maori only fishing areas, we know all about this. Media corruption promoting all things Maori. We're living in an ethno-state, an apartheid state. This is South Africa part 2. This is Zimbabwe. Now you join all these dots, all these markers if you like, join them all and hold them all in your head at one, all together, and what do you come to the conclusion with? You come to the conclusion, this is a coup. This is a coup that's happening here. Well, here's some more. Having to consult Maori in the RMA and in the fast-track legislation. Why do we have to consult Maori? Why? What for? It's not in the treaty. It's just made up. Changing the name of our country from New Zealand to Aotearoa. Who asked for that? Nobody asked for that. It was just forced on us. Forcing Maori language. Government department names in Maori. Road signs in Maori. Maori's dominating adverts. When you see adverts on TV or the radio, on television and on the radio, you hear or you see Maori now dominating these adverts. Special funding for Maori dance. They got 48 million over 3 years. Special entry into med school for that's apartheid for students. Maori only areas in the universities. That's apartheid. Racism. Maori co-governing DOC. That's apartheid. That's racism. Introducing tikanga into parliament and embedding it into law. Special Maori tax rate. These are all examples of apartheid and racism. And when you put them all together, then you get the idea this is a bloodless coup. We've got rates exemptions for Maori, creating an activist-centered constitution. That's what they're trying to do. Maori prioritised on medical lists. Renaming towns, landmarks, streets with Maori names. Iwi getting control of national assets like Mount Taranaki again. These are all markers, they're all lights, and they're all dots. You just join the dots, and you can't help but conclude that there is a bloodless coup in progress in our country. There's no other conclusion. It's just there right in front of us. So there you have it. That's Erica Stanford, our education minister, funding the Maorification of our children and grandchildren, promoting and joining in with the LGBTQ agenda, which is undoubtedly about recruiting children into that lifestyle. I mean, if it wasn't about recruitment, why do they need a public parade? Because they're advertising. That's what they're doing. Finally, Erica believes that the treaty is a partnership, which it's not. In combination, these three facts about Erica Stanford help explain why our country is in such a mess when we have these kinds of leaders in positions of power and influence. So what does all this mean? Well, it's like this. If the minister is a messed up person, the education ministry will follow suit, which in turn leads to messed up teachers, which in turn leads to messed up children. It's called leadership influence. It all trickles down from the top. As I have said, the children in our schools are innocent. They just trust the adults who are running our education system. They just trust that these adults are doing what's best for them, educating them so that they can succeed in life. Clearly, Erica is not doing this. She's doing the very opposite. Well, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and pass this video on to others, especially those who've got children at school or grandchildren at school. This is so crucial. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Okay guys, that's enough for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Now we need your help with something. This is important. We have produced some great flyers and brochures which we want to get into the hands of all New Zealanders. So we need to go around the mainstream media. They're not going to help. In fact, they're making things a lot worse. So we have to go around them. And we need your help to make this happen. We can't do this without you. So what are we talking about? First, there is our business cards. They're only 3 cents each plus courier to get them to you. Then there is our latest booklet called The Psychology of Takeover, 19 strategies Maori activists are using to take over the country. It's 80 pages and packs a huge punch. So they're cheap, they're $3, and they're absolutely fantastic if you want to get a handle on what's actually happening in New Zealand. Then we have a few thousand of our original Stop Co-Governance booklets left over from my tour in 2023. Remember these? You'll remember we printed 550,000 of these. Well, these are now free because we realized that only about a third of New Zealand houses got this booklet last when I did my tour, and so we want to get to the other 2/3. So if you do a few streets around where you live, that would be absolutely phenomenal, and they are free now. Then we have our MACA, that's Marine and Coastal Act brochure 2, which alert people to the loss of our beaches. You know, we're in danger of losing all the beaches around New Zealand. The text is written by Graham Adams, who's a great author. These are now free. And then we have our beautiful bumper sticker, which we've just made. And why are we doing this? Well, New Zealand's identity is under threat. We know that. First activists have and are still trying to change the name of New Zealand to Aotearoa. We don't want that. We must oppose this. This is rubbish. Where's the referendum saying that we want to change the name of the country? There was none. It was just forced on us. Second, Maori sovereignty flags are appearing more and more all over the place, and they're just treason. So we've got to get these bumper stickers out. So we've printed some awesome bumper stickers. They're $3 each, and they measure 21.5 by 6.5, so you can see how big that would be on your car. To get any of these free products, all you need to do is pay for the courier to get them to you. For the products that cost something, like the bumper stickers or the little psychology booklet, it's the cost plus the courier to get them to you. So to order any of these products, just use this email address, cards@stopcogovernance.kiwi, and we'd love to hear from you. Finally, if you want to access all the videos we've ever made, including all our most viewed and most popular videos, and have them all in one place, which is what people are asking for, then just type in this address into your browser. There it is there, https www.youtube.com/@stopcogovernance, and you'll find it goes straight to our channel. Then what you do is save this address to your computer as a favorite. Job done. Well done. Then you've got them all in one place forever. And all the new ones that are coming in get placed into that address, so you won't miss anything. Okay, last thing, please, oh please, don't forget to subscribe. When you subscribe, you'll get the latest videos straight into your inbox. You'll never miss a video, which is great. You'll link up with like-minded people all over New Zealand, and that's very, very stimulating to have meet up with all these people who think like you. You'll be telling YouTube, I like these videos, and they will respond by advertising our videos to more Kiwis for free. It's incredible what they do, but it just relies on you replying to comments and making comments and liking things and sharing things and activity. That's what it is. It's just activity on our channel. And turning New Zealand around is simply a matter of reaching more Kiwis with the truth. So just click on the subscribe button on the bottom right hand side of your screen. There, the little yellow arrow is showing you where it is, and you'll be subscribed. Okay, see you next time. You guys are awesome.